Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
It is another great Friday morning in the city of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. A pleasant time to have your radio tuned to Splash 106.7 FM, the integrity station. Happy Children's Day and welcome to a special edition of Panorama. I am Precious Ogunleye.
And I am Rekiah Ogunsola. Welcome to the current affairs program that fills in on happening across the country and allows you to air your opinion on our issue of the day, which is the first segment of the show.
And the second segment is what we call From the Pages. In that segment, we solve Nigerian dailies and serve you the headlines. Do not forget that in both segments, we create the avenue where you tell us what you think by reaching out to us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp.
Yes, you can hit us up on Twitter at SplashFM1067. And please make use of the hashtag Panorama on Splash. It is at Splash FM 106.7 Abeokuta on Facebook, where we are streaming live right now. Click on the live feed and drop your comment to the comment section right under the feed.
Our WhatsApp line is 081-7555-1067. Send your WhatsApp messages to that number and we promise to do justice to it. The studio lines will be rolled out when the time is right.
Okay, let's move straight to our issue of the day.
Nigeria since 1964 chose May 27 as its Children's Day to improve the welfare of children in Nigeria and the world at large.
The noble cause, which to many is a way to secure a better future for the country, might now be said to just exist in theory, judging by myriads of challenges that are mitigating against the Nigerian child.
These challenges include but are not limited to child abuse, child labor, domestic violence, corruption, insecurity, poor healthcare system, low standard of education, poverty, and food insecurity.
How can the Nigerian child thrive amid a troubled Nigeria? What hope does the Nigerian child have for a better tomorrow? What can be done or should be done to secure a solid future for the Nigerian child?
All these questions and more are what we shall be seeking answers to on our issue of the day segment on the program today.
And we have caller Habiola joining us live in the studio this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to be here.
Yes, sir.
Happy Children's Day.
Thank you very much, sir. So, sir, what was life like for the Nigerian child of early 70s and how did we get here?
Let me start with the music that was played just before I came into the studio by late Ozigi King.
Okay, sir.
Sonny Okoso.
Yes.
We grew to be saying, which way Nigeria, which way to go. I love my fatherland. And if that song had been on for more than 3 decades or 4 decades now, and we are still asking that question. And she said in part of our introduction that the good life of a Nigerian child looks like a mirage. I cannot fault that sentence at all. It's always easy for the older generation to say that they had beautiful lives. The ones before all said Nigeria was very sweet. I can tell my children now that Nigeria was sweet in my time. But the word sweet is relative. If we compare sweet that we say Nigeria or good that we say Nigeria was compared to other countries that were good then, where are those countries now? Have they become better? Where is Nigeria today? So some people will say Nigeria is good then, but Nigeria was good then. How do we measure with other countries that was good then? Where are they now? We can begin to talk about other countries that were not as good as Nigeria then, but the living standard of their countrymen now is far better than Nigeria. So would you say that we have done so well? The question you asked me,
yes.
I think I had a good time growing up in Nigeria. It was still fun. We still had a little bit of our culture that was intact. Morality was still very, very high. value for life and respect was still much higher than what we have now. And so, in a way, I would say that I had a good time growing up in Nigeria.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Where does the fault lies with the parent, society, or government?
All of us. All of us, at least in the home, the parents are the government at home. And so if we pick it from that, I said in my time, we still had a lot of morals. We had a lot of culture that was guiding whatever we do. But now we are paying for the technology that we have in our hands now. And we have not managed that technology very well. In my days, you don't have television that was working 24 hours a day. Usually you are delighted when it is 4 o'clock and you want to go put on your television station, everybody's happy. And you imagine when you're on holiday and you don't have any television from morning that you wake up until 4 o'clock in the evening. How do we fill our time? We fill our time then with our friends. Now you have to book an appointment to go see your friend, or you chat. Once you chat with your friend, you are good. But you can walk some distance to go see your friend, and you go to your parents' house. You go to your friend's house. Your parents probably know the parents, and when you err, people in the community are always there to smack you into the right direction, and you will not dare go to your parents' house to tell your parents that somebody beat me, because that would be an invitation for another punishment. But now, a lot of parents have shifted their responsibility to teachers. And back then, teachers were allowed. Maybe some of them did it way out, but they beat you until you get to the proper line, so that you become a very good student. Students that normally have the tendency to become wayward have been beaten either by 6 strokes or 4 strokes to the proper direction. And some of them have good stories to tell now. But if you see these days, parents have shelved their responsibility. Imagine a parent that will go at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. I won't come back until 11 p.m. Little or no time to attend to the parents. They have given the responsibility back to the teachers. Teachers too are parents in their own place. They have their own worries too. And some teachers that are still dedicated, when they try to put those children back in line, parents take tug and things to school to go and beat and harass teacher. Those things never happened in my time. And so you see that if the home can function properly, then from the home we'll raise good boys and girls. Teachers will have less job to do. These boys and girls are the one that is going out in the community, and they are the one that is going to become our representative governors, president, and co. If they have this good upbringing, we'll probably have less problems. So, in my opinion, I think we are all responsible for the fate of Nigeria and the Nigerian child now, both the parents and the government.
Okay, Sam. Talking about technology, some would say it helps secure a better and easy life for the children. What's your take on this?
Yes, but everything that has an advantage also has a disadvantage. We embrace the advantages of technology, but we never prepared for the disadvantages. We never tried to put some things to check all the cons of the technology. Parents will now buy phone for their children. Yes, you can monitor your children at home when you are away. But in the hand of those children, you have opened them to the world, especially when you buy them internet-compliant phones. Those children can do anything. Not until recently, most parents don't know how to restrict their children from a lot of things on the internet. And so you find a lot of students getting information that hitherto should not get into their hands. So, and I will say one of the advantages is that what my generation will go to the library and study and search for 2 weeks, in less than 30 seconds or 1 minute, your generation will get it into your hand. So which means that this thing has a very good advantage. It could give you information on the go. You can learn on the go. A lot of things that you don't have to go to a formal school now to learn, that you can learn on the internet, is good for this generation. But the vices on this generation, we have had people that have been radicalized on the internet. We have had people that have something happened in Ogun State recently, and the kids were saying that they got those things from the internet. So those are the disadvantages of the internet that we did not adequately prepare for to mitigate against those things so that we only maximize the benefit of it. So I think right now, both parents and government should be cautious enough and conscious enough to put something in place to mitigate against this unnecessary exposure of the Nigerian child.
Okay.
About 70 million Nigerian live below the poverty line, and this has forced children to engage in hawking goods and products for their parents and their guardians. However, how is this possible that with the Child Rights Act in place, this practice still goes on?
You see, the government that is supposed, there's this United Nations child right that was passed, I think 1998, and it was eventually ratified in 1990 by about, I think 140 nations thereabout. And in 2002, when President Obasanjo brought this to the National Assembly, Nigerian state rejected it. Took a lot of time before it was finally signed into law in 2003. And after 2003 that has been signed into law, Nigerian government has not actually taken the Nigerian child as their child. The responsibility of the child has been left to the parents. And so when the parents feel that there is a need, or there is a need that this child can meet, usually they will use them. And that's why you find that some parents will use their child to go and hawk. If the Nigerian government, the Nigerian state, has made it mandatory that there is a compulsory, qualitative primary and secondary school for a Nigerian child, then it becomes criminal for you to have any parents send any Nigerian child on the road exposed to all dangers and all manners of vices. But because the Nigerian state has not adequately taken care of the Nigerian child, you find these parents doing this. So it will be very difficult for you to want to criminalize opportunities that you have not provided for parents, because they need to feed, and they will tell you, if I stay in my shop, I can only sell 2 things. But if this child goes about, he can sell 1 or 2 other things that will bring money to the family, not minding the dangers that this child have been exposed to daily. So in this aspect, I think the Nigerian government still need to do more for the Nigerian child to ensure that there is a compulsory, the word compulsory should be there, compulsory, qualitative, free primary and secondary education. At this point, if you decide to want to do anything, I think you'll have left being a child at the time you are leaving secondary school, and then you can take responsibility for your actions and inactions.
Okay, sir. Between 2009 and 2020, reports indicated that terrorists destroyed 1,400 schools, forced more than 1 million children out of school, and killed 2,295 teachers in Borno State. Why has the Nigerian state failed to protect vulnerable kids?
See, one of the things that the Child Act right specify that must be provided for the child is that you must provide for their security, for their education, for their health, their cultural, civil rights, and co. All those rights are in those child rights article. And when you find that all these things are not properly taken care of, then you find that the Nigerian child is at the mercy of a lot of things. It is not, yes, it is because of the terrorist act that you see in the Northeast that we have seen a lot of Nigerian child out of school that has been killed, that has been maimed, that has been kidnapped. But even parts where there are no war, you still see that because of poverty, because of ignorance, a lot of people will say that their child will not go to school. Usually, it was the female child that was not being sent to school by some stereotype parents that they don't have any business going to school. But now you see that in a particular section of Nigeria, it's the male child that don't go to school again because they feel that they have no business going to school. They should go into business or whatever. So that's we go back to what I said. If the government will enforce a compulsory, free, qualitative primary and secondary education for a Nigerian child, and if you are like they will say, that your mouth, you put your mouth where you put your money, or I don't know how they say it. But the thing is, if you are providing this, then you will ensure that this thing should be successful. So if the government is the serious of it to make this thing work, then government will have to provide security for all the infrastructure that they have put in place to make this work. If we talk about the security of the Nigerian child, as it happens now, we probably will have a lot of time to discuss this, because you see that the Nigerian child is extremely exposed to lots of dangers. Usually, when we went to school, I schooled in the north. My parents only know that they take me to the bus park, and from the bus park, it is only when I get to where I'm going that I call. And that's, you have the luxury of calling a neighbor that has a phone box at home. Let me tell them that I've gotten to so place. But now I doubt how many parents can leave their child to move even from street to street to go to people's house, because the security is not there. And the lot of dastardly act that is done to the Nigerian child will not even allow parents to allow their children to go to their neighbor. And this has blown so much in the Northeast that terrorists come, kidnap, take away children. And the government, I wouldn't say that they are not doing anything, but whatever it is that they are doing has not been enough. It's not enough. And so the Nigerian child is still exposed. I was talking to a friend, those people that were kidnapped in the Kaduna train, among them was a pregnant woman. And they showed us how the baby that the woman gave birth to in the kidnappers' den. I see no reason why any government should sleep until that baby and mother is rescued. If this baby survives and becomes an adult, what would the Nigerian state say that they did for him? What would the Nigerian state say that they did to rescue him? So it is a whole lot of things that the government owes the Nigerian child. They owe them a lot of things to make sure that they enjoy their time, they are protected, and that they can look back and say, yes, indeed, Nigeria gave us a platform to excel.
Yes, Sam, how
Corruption, which has eaten deep into the fabric of the nation, has become a menace of all levels. How can we make sure that the future of the Nigerian child is not totally damaged?
The corruption in Nigeria is not only damaging the future of Nigerian child, it's damaging the future of the present adult, it's damaging the future of the yet to be yet unborn Nigerian child, and I'm afraid I probably would not have an answer, because the amount of money that you see and you hear that somebody embezzled, and eventually they go to trial, 5 years, 6 years trial, and after 2 years in incarceration, somebody will grant them amnesty. This is a sign that, like they said, whatever sin you commit, come to our party, you'll be forgiven. It's been practicalized. So I don't know how to answer that corruption will stop, but I know that if you affect somebody, you can affect your community positively. And when you affect your community positively, you don't know the multiplier effect that you have. As a student, if you pick up somebody's item, do you return it? If you see what is not yours, do you return it to the owner? Do you cheat in an examination? And all these are part of corruption. Some parents go to pay for special center for their children in external examination. Some schools even don't want students to fail in an examination because of the names of the name of the school. These are all part of corruption. So as a Nigerian child, this is where it starts. Don't get yourself engaged in malpractices. And once you are conscious that you are not going to be involved in malpractices, every other ones that come along your way, because you know that, okay, these are not good. When you know your rights from wrong, then you'll be able to make some decisions. And I wouldn't say that we can totally give up on Nigeria. there is still a lot that we can do for Nigeria. And if we are conscious of this lot that we can do for Nigeria, if we begin to make change in our own circle, you don't know how big your circle can become. I'm not sure that Professor Yemi Oshibajo, for instance, knows that he will ever become the vice president of Nigeria. So the circle that he has influenced from his beginning, from his secondary school, the number of students that he has influenced while he was a lecturer in Unilag, I circle, and they abound several places. The positive influence that he has made on their life are what those people are carrying up and down as testimony for him. So you can also begin to make positive impact. That's why I said you can't totally blame government. If parents make positive impact on their kids, on their children, these children would know that corruption is not good. Like I usually make an example. Before it takes 2,000 naira to treat malaria. Maybe now 3,000 or 4,000. So for every 4,000 naira that is embezzled, a child is dying. For every 4,000 naira that is embezzled, a child is dying. So imagine you embezzling. So every time when you know this, anytime you want to steal somebody's 4,000 naira or you want to take 4,000 naira that is not yours, you know you are killing a child. If parents has imbibed this into their children and they grow up with it and they make sure that their friends know this too, by the time they begin to get into higher places of authority, they will have positive mind and positive thinking towards Nigeria. They're not only thinking about themselves, they're thinking about various other people that their decision is going to affect. So we can say maybe if this generation gets it right, Nigeria still has a future.
Okay, sir. With the level of corruption in the country, how do you think the government can provide enough facilities for the children?
If it is true that somebody actually embezzled 80 billion naira, imagine what 80 billion naira will do in the life of Nigerian child. Some schools just need 20 million naira to bring them up to standard. Some schools will be built from scratch to finish with 20 million naira. You just imagine the number of schools that will service. Imagine the number of healthcare facilities that 80 billion naira will do, and that's just one person. Several other ones that we have had. So I'm not in doubt that the Nigerian state has the money, has the resources, if they have the political will to want to provide qualitative education, qualitative healthcare services for the Nigerian child. I don't think it's the money. I think it's the political will that we don't have. And it goes back to what I said. If for every of your decision, you think about how many people it's going to affect, not just thinking of only you, then you'll be able to make decision that if I take 4,000 naira, I will kill a child. If I take 8,000 naira, I'm going to kill 2 children. So if those children are part of my thinking, I'll probably not take that 8,000 naira so that those 2 children will survive. If they had allowed malaria to kill them when they were growing up, would they be what they are today? So if they think about other generations too, I think it will help in reducing corruption and life will be better for all of us. Most people that are taking that massive amount of money from our economy, they can't live freely as a common man. That's why you see most houses in Nigeria now, the fence are higher as the house and with a lot of fence, a lot of security. But if the community knows that, okay, this man is in office and I have good school to send my children to, they have good hospitals to go, we have less criminal. Our society is less safe and you don't have any reason to be locking yourself in your house or to be running away from Nigeria to go and enjoy your money. You enjoy your money in Nigeria. So I think if there is a political will, it will reduce corruption and it will give direction to the Nigerian child, and they can also be a good leader.
The federal government claims it is spending about 1 billion naira daily on the home ground feeding program, which is under the supervision of the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development to tackle issue of out of school. But don't you think even with this initiative, the government has failed?
It's pathetic that at this time you are already seeing that the government has failed. And because I know that you have your friends, you have people that are in public school, and I know that you share notes, you compare notes among yourself. I can't remember any body that has said recently that they have the feeding in any school, at least in this area for now. And yet, 1 million is going down the drain. But like I said, because today is our day, children, we cannot totally lose hope about Nigeria. Let's leave Nigerians and these adults that we think have disappointed us. How are we not going to disappoint the people coming after us? So, in order not to compound the problem of this corruption, I would want to just use the word of this former American president to encourage the Nigerian child. Think not what your country can do for you, but think of what you can do for your country. With the talent and the potential God has given you, that this generation has disappointed you, how and what are you going to do that you are not going to disappoint the next generation after you? What you think you should have that you are not having, how are you going to give it to the incoming generation? I think if we focus more on that, gradually we will ease out this generation out of our political space. And we can, there's this song, my school anthem, it says that when we are grown and take our place, by the grace of God, you will grow and you will take your place. When you eventually take your place, do you want to be like this generation that don't care about others? So my own counsel is that think of what you can do to make Nigeria better than it is now.
Okay, sir. Inadequate funding has been a problem in education. How can this be resolved? Yes, sir. Inadequate funding has been a problem in education. How can this be resolved?
I said earlier that I really don't feel that the Nigerian state does not have money. And so it's not about inadequate funding. It's about the political will to be able to see that the Nigerian child needs this. You have seen over the years that even the public school that our government has neglected, children from those public schools have continuously turned out to be extremely brilliant. And even at competitions with people from private school and schools abroad, they have done very well. So adding little money or funds into this sector will probably take a lot of people that are into crimes and criminalities out of that area. But the political will by our government to, to weaponize poverty, and so that everybody will continue to cling onto a particular family, and we continue to look onto them as their Lord. I think that's the bane. The bane of Nigeria, like some people will say, Nigeria is not in short of policies, good policies, implementations, and the political will to see it through is a problem of Nigeria. So I don't really think it is inadequate funding that's our problem. It is implementations of quality policies that are on ground. We have a lot of policies. Nigerian, the university students and polytechnic students are at home now, and they're asking for a lot of things. But you saw that when some intricacies came in, these people are home for 1 month without anybody asking them questions. But when some intricacies began to happen because of what is going to happen election, you now see people calling them that want to talk to them. And after talking, what happened next? This is something that has been going on since 2002. The people in government now when they were out of government, blamed the people in government then, supported this union then, that what they are asking for is right. Now they are in government. They don't even want to sit down and talk with these people for what they said was right. And some of them happen to have come out of these same constituencies from the ivory towers. They knew what they went through. They understand what their colleagues are going through. They understand the plight of the Nigerian child. You see, sometimes people say that Nigerian universities are producing unemployable graduates, but these graduates go out to the international market and they do well. How do they do that? We study, we read under I don't know, I've not been to any other nation that is as cruel educationally as Nigeria, but we study under a very cruel circumstances. And so when the Nigerian child or the Nigerian youth find a better platform, they can excel. So I don't think that inadequate funding is a problem. I think it's a political will and the selfishness in our leaders that is the problem.
Okay, so let's open the phone lines 070-4400-1067 and 081-7444-1067 and 081-7555-1067.
The studio lines 070-4400-1067, 081-7555-1067, 070-5050-1067.
Okay. Okay, from Facebook, Sanitarian Akinola Oluwarantimi says, Rekiah and Precious, good morning and well done. What an excellent performance. God bless you richly. Amen. Thank you. Ashe Gongo Ayomide Isaac says, well done. I appreciate your efforts. Again, Oluwanishola Adebayo Balogun says, in fact, I'm really impressed. Just keep it up, Rekiah and Precious. Sanitarian Akinola Oluwarantimi says, good morning, Rekiah and Precious. Also our guest. The life is more beautiful and fine with children few years back. We respect our parents and all those that are older than us, but nowadays things are upside down. Our parents still need to do more in terms of parenting and the likes. God bless every home. Sanitarian Akinola Oluwaferomi from Asheru. Olakunle Isaac Balogun says, truly, the future is #now. Splash FM is indeed a great one and applauded one. If Splash FM as a very unique radio station can give room for the school children irrespective of their class to step up and anchor programs for the day, definitely we can all work together in harmony and work tall as a people in areas like resources, welfare, economy by #electing a very #visionary and #passionate leaders who is also viewed to be sound-minded and not too old, if not youth, into top public offices in Nigeria. #the future is now. Folorunso David Olufade, the government needs to provide a better place for the children like ASU, who went on strike and nothing was done to resolve the issue simply because their children went to school at abroad. etc. May God help us. Prince Ola says, good morning, you are really doing great job. The government needs to do their part on every aspect. Technology is something children need to access, but we parents need to enlighten them to understand the limits they can go on when they have access to technology. Security needs to be out in place in all schools, either private or public, so as to make learning easier. Dan Olu Onosonya says, wow, what a superb performance from both of you. Keep it up. Splash FM, you are too much. Happy Children's Day.
We have a few messages on WhatsApp too. Good morning, Panorama. There's a saying that if you can't beat them, you join them. Peter Obi politically ideology is alien to these two prominent parties in Nigeria because money politics is order of the day, which Obi is not ready for. Olusegun from Abule Oloni.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, am I clear?
Hello, yes, I.
Hello, this is Nicholas.
Hello, yes, we can hear you. Go on.
Okay, I want to thank Splash FM for this great continuity in such a laudable initiative. And I want to thank you for surviving the screening of all the children that were auditioned for this privilege that you're handling, and you are doing a great job. I also want to thank Auntie Miriam and Uncle Uzo in the studio. I can see they're making sure you are also doing a good job. You see, the Nigerian child among the 200 countries on earth is the most blessed child, because he or she is in a country that is one of the most blessed in every resource, from air to sub-terrestrial resource to super-terrestrial resource. But unfortunately, maybe God wanted to make sure we were not always very happy. He gave us bad leaders. But even with the bad leaders, like now in Sokoto now, there will be no WAEC. So if you were in Sokoto now, your senior brother will not write WAEC, but there will be election and there will be census. Yesterday, the first lady in Kogi State, she was sharing 1 million naira each to all her domestic staff. And the workers, I think your parents in Kogi, their salaries are not paid. How would they buy you uniform? How would they subscribe to your DST for you? How would they pay the landlord? So you can see that they want some of you to end up in jail, in prison, and in psychiatric homes. But that is not going to be your portion in Jesus' name. Am I clear? And I want to thank your guest. He has done a good job of trying to manage the truth about the circumstance that surrounds the Nigerian child. But like she said, hope should never die. Hope should never be lost. So you should just try and be hopeful and optimistic. Maybe one day God will just answer our prayers from heaven. Then please tell the DJ to play Omode by Fumi Adams when you are through with the program. Thank you.
From Facebook, Sobatech Telecoms International says, well done, children. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. I urge our government to provide a better platform and a conducive environment for them to grow. Happy Children's Day, and thanks to Splash FM for the great work. Wale Fayeun says, good morning. Well done, guys. The sky is your limit. Fantastic program from number one station. Agbo Samuel says, the analyst has spoken well. The right of every child must be protected. Governments should do more to get lots of these children who are out of school. The parents should do more in instilling more morals, ethics, and values of the society to their wards. Well done, children presenters. Happy Children's Day.
On Twitter, we have wow, Splash FM has done it again. Happy Children's Day. A Nigeria child has not committed any offense being born into Nigeria. The issue is bad leadership, and hopefully we will get it right shortly so that Nigeria children will achieve their potential. From Honorable Ademola Vanguard.
Inadequate funding has been a problem in education. Despite the compulsory, free and universal basic education act of 2004, lack of access to quality, free, safe, uninterrupted and inclusive education for girls remained a big driver of child marriage. Why is that so, sir?
Some of these questions and the reality of what is actually happening is kind of bringing tears to me, maybe because I'm seated with you and I'm not God and I can't see what will happen tomorrow. You'll be surprised why somebody or some people will say that voting age is 18. And these same people will now say that marriage age is 13. Usually what I tell people that I come across is that please go to an hospital where you have VVF patients. And if you will pray in your life that you want your girl child to go through that process. And until our leaders, our political leaders, it all comes to selfishness. How many of them have you seen giving out their girl child out at 13? But they can take some other people's child at 13. And whatever happens to that child, they can pick another child. And that's why I said most of our political leaders are weaponizing poverty. Because they know that if they dangle some few nairas to some poor parents, they can release their child. And to make the matter even worse, there is no good health facilities to take care of the consequences of marrying a girl child out at early age. The countries, the nation of the world that have better health facilities don't expose their girl child to such dangers. Why should we, that don't have half of that health facility, be exposing our children to those kind of... I don't think that any sane person, irrespective of tribe, ethnicity, or religion, at this age, will continue to encourage girl child marriage. The child right has passed and ratified by Nigeria consider anybody below the age of 18 a child, or as might be determined by that nation. We in Nigeria have said that you are still a child until you are 18. That is when you begin to have access to a lot of things. So I think by that charter that we have signed into our constitution in 2003, to begin to treat everybody below the age of 18 as a child. And anybody that does anything to infringe on their civil right, their cultural right, their political right, any right that infringe on their health and psychological life should be adequately dealt with. So, usually, these girls, when they go through all this traumatizing period, I don't think they can ever be the same again. So, I think if there is a political will, like we said, I think I'm always going back to where we started from. If there is a political will by our leaders, that it is compulsory and it is free. Sometimes the work of teachers are to actually entice children to come back to school the next day. And so whatever you do today is going to determine whether the child is going to come back to school tomorrow. So if the school atmosphere is conducive, is friendly, and the teachers are doing well with them, the child will want to go back to school the next day. So if the government provides adequate atmosphere for learning, I think our children will find their way back to school.
We have come to the end of the first segment of Panorama for today. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we can move to the second segment.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
It's time to close shop on all the radio stations. The king is now in the city.
Thank you.
Welcome to Splash 106.7 FM Abeokuta.
One na dey go sef, one na body go dey drive for stand upon say bike don scarce or people wey dey bus stop plenty. You come wait so tey your appointment don pass. Make una mind the day coole. Akko ride na better option for every corner wey dey Abeokuta as e big reach. No fear o. Anything wey be safety dey assured. On a ride go dey go siriri. The riders plus the passengers dem get security wey tanda gidigba. Wait una still dey wait for. Go download the app on Google Play Store. Now, if na iOS, e still dey go immediately. Na 500 naira bonus go sound for on a happy bam. Akko ride with shaking money on a go carry body reach the destination with on a mind gang. No dey waste time. Oya sharply join body for the website www.akkoride.ng. No come forget say on a go download the app on Google Play Store and iOS on a security data gidigba. Akko ride. Our riders them get identification element plus jacket we get number. Akko ride. E dey safe, e dey secure, e still con dey affordable.
Gbogbo ọ̀nà ire ní níléeṣẹ́ àgbájọ Homes and Property Nigeria Limited. Àwọn ilẹ̀ wọn kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ kẹ̀tíkẹ̀tí ló ń tà torí pé ó pọ̀ ju owó rẹ̀ lọ. Ilẹ̀ ìbára orílẹ̀ kọ́pàpẹ́ àgbòdo 200,000 ní tẹ́lẹ̀ báyìí lórí promo wọn 100,000 lẹ́sàn. Tẹ́sí mọ̀ pé iléeṣẹ́ àgbájọ kò ní jẹ́ ta ilẹ̀ inú igbó láéláé. Ilẹ̀ ń bẹ ní Ìdíòrì, Onígangan, Òṣèlẹ̀, kọ́pàpẹ́, Ṣòdẹ̀kẹ̀tìtò. Bẹ́ẹ̀ sì nílé oko wọn. Ìgbọ́ra, ìbára orílẹ̀, Ọ̀pẹ́jì 30,000 ní plọ̀tì kan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bára plọ̀tì mẹ́ta ẹ gba ìdajì sí. Ó sì jẹ́ ékàlẹ́ra odidi lẹ́ẹ̀gbà sí. Táwọn tí ó bá yín gbìnrìn oko yín sì wà nílẹ̀. Àwọn kan náà ni wọ́n bá yín tà á 39 NTA Road Ọgbẹ̀ Abẹ́òkúta 07044648338 07044648338. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé ìgbésẹ̀ àtẹ̀mí àti àwọn ìsìn kọ̀ọ̀kan kù. Ogúnjọ́ oṣù táwa yìí láǹfààní.
Honey, Must you go?
Babe, you know I must. Besides, you can always video call me.
What if your battery runs out?
I've got my power bank.
Hey, and when your power bank runs out?
Babe, I've got my laptop.
Okay, wait. What if your data runs out?
Babe, you know we never run out of data.
Never run out of data with Airtel Home Broadband Unlimited Ultra plans. Enjoy unlimited data with no speed cap plus extra data daily, so you never have to worry about running out. Visit www.airtel.com.ng/HBB to get started.
Babe, but I just left the house.
Yes, honey. It's video calling all the way.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Oyin mọ́mọ́ àdùnrẹ́ o. From Just Family Estate and Investment Limited. Iléeṣẹ́ tó ń talẹ̀ talé nírọ̀rùn. Lóní kẹ́ wá ara lẹ̀ lówó tí ò gani lára. Define Grace tó wà ní Randa Extension. Ọ̀fà Abẹ́òkúta 120,000 péré ni. Tó o bá sọ tọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ náà. Wá gba 10 kg of bag of rice. Golden Garden, Ọgbà Wúrà, Ìdíòrè Abẹ́òkúta àti Diamond Estate. Àgọ́dù ní tòsí President Buhari Estate. Lọ́nà Ọkọ̀bàpẹ́ 300,000 naira. Ẹni wọ́n tabẹ̀. Tó o bá sanwó tọ́lẹ̀ ẹ̀kọ́ náà. Wá gba 200 blocks. Tàbí standing fan ńlá kan. Farmland wa tó wà lọ́ba àti Ọbáfẹ́. Pẹ̀lú 40,000 naira péré. From Just Farmers Club ló máa ṣètò bíbá ayé roko dáko kọbè ire nírọ̀rùn kẹ́yìn máa gbélé pawó ni o. ní pàtàkì From Just Farmers Club yóò pèsè gbogbo nǹkan ọ̀gbìn tẹ́ ẹ máa gbé sórí ilẹ̀ yín lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tàbí gbígbàwé lọ́yà lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ ẹ tètè máa bọ̀ lópòpónà Jídéjò lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Hera Kitchen Òkè Ìléwú Abẹ́òkúta kẹ́ ẹ lè rí lẹ́gbà nítòsí ẹ máa pe 0702-500-0636 0702-500-0636 ìparí oṣù yìí láǹfààní yóò wá sókè.
Ogun State Internal Revenue Service presents Ogun State Electronic Tax Administration Portal, OGETax. Now you can transact all your businesses online with Ogun State Internal Revenue Service by logging on to their website ogirs.ogunstate.gov.ng. Click on self-service to get to the OGIRS portal. Transact your businesses either as a corporate organization or an individual. Follow the promptings, fill out the necessary details required to get your tax identification number. Existing organizations and individuals will need only to validate their accounts. Organizations can file their monthly and annual returns by downloading and filling the Excel template, upload the data, and make payments, while individuals can also transact their stamp duty, direct assessment, and so on. Log on to ogirs.ogunstate.gov.ng and transact all your businesses online with Ogun State Internal Revenue Service.
Ẹ má dá òtí ẹ̀. Tàbá ń sọ nípa ilé-iṣẹ́ tó ń wá ìtẹ̀síwájú àti ìbàlẹ̀ ọkàn gbogbo ènìyàn. IAS Unique Homes and Properties nílé-iṣẹ́ àwọn.
IAS Home and Properties Unique Badolese. Wọ́n kì í talẹ̀ kan ṣoṣo fẹ́ ní méjìlá. Wọ́n lòdì sí kárẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kọ́pá.
Ẹ̀yin olóríire o, ẹ tètè wá jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́ ní First Class City Ìkẹrẹ̀kú Ìdán. Táǹtà ní 200,000 naira tẹ́lẹ̀. Ó ti di 100,000 naira báyìí. Ìrìn ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́jọ péré ni sí Òkè Àtà Islander Member City. Àjílété tó wà lọ́nà Alábàtà. Táǹtà ní 500,000 naira. Ó ti di 200,000 naira báyìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ṣe ń ra àwọn ilẹ̀ yìí lẹ́dínwó. Yóò tún máa gba tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Tó fi rìnrìn àjò lọ sílùú Dubai lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Níparí oṣù karùn-ún yìí. Tètè kàn sí iléeṣẹ́ IAS tó bá súnmọ́ ọ jùlọ. Tàbí kó pè wọ́n sórí 08092944848. May 25 láǹfààní yìí máa kásẹ̀ lẹ̀.
It's time to close shop on all the radio stations.
And the award goes to...
Oh my God!
The king is now in the city.
Thank you.
Welcome to Splash 106.7 FM Abeokuta.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are still tuned to Splash 106.7 FM Abeokuta. This is the second segment of Panorama called From the Pages. The time is 9:02. And I have with me Daily Sun. For the top story, APC presidential primary, Lawan Oshibajo Tinubu Onu Amaechi Umahi look strong. Comes with two riders. Buhari party elders work towards consensus. Second rider, Jonathan condemns party primaries, knocks lawmakers. This can be found in page 6 to 27 of Daily Sun. Now for the second story, APC Guba. Sanwo-Olu Yahaya Abiodun Zulum Sule Buni get second term tickets. Comes with a rider, Emenike Omoagege Cole Naji Idris win. Another story, Buhari travels out to attend AU extraordinary meeting in Malabo.
And I am Rekiah Ogunsola. I have with me Nigerian Tribune newspaper. The headline, Decisive Weekend, APC, BDP, pick presidential candidates. I have three riders. About 3,000, the first rider, about 3,000 delegates to vote for Osibanjo, Tinubu, Lawan, Amachi, Atiku, Saraki, and Wike, others. Second rider, Abuja hotels fully booked. Third rider, Buhari jet out of Equatorial Guinea for 3 days. The headline, Sanwo-Olu Abiodun Emenike Zulum Omoagege Tony Buni, others win APC Guba tickets. Details are found on page 26. And it has two riders. The first one, Sanwo-Olu's opponent slams exercise dares party on screening. Second rider, Oyo's primary to hold today. FG State LGS share 656,602 billion naira for May. Details are found on page 6. Gunmen kidnap Lebanese, kill soldiers driver in Ondo. Details are found on page 29. Electoral Act, Supreme Court reserved judgment in Buhari, Malami's case. Anita One Rider. NAS River State NBA 1 suits dismissed. Arira, silence is not gold in JNI tells Southeast government. Details are found on page 8. 3 Nigerian PDP delegates shot dead by bandits. Details are found on page 27. Court stopped INEC from recognizing Obaseki's and OC delegates for 2023 election. Details are found on page 28. Election-sensitive material no longer safe in CBN, Falana tells INEC. Details are found on page 28. Abakari praised court for Bali alleged threat to lie in Kuje prison. It has one rider. He is safe in custody, no threat to his life. NCOS. Details are found on page 9. There are the headlines on the front page of Nigerian Tribune. Now let's delve into the details. We still have Mr. Kola Abiola in this studio with us.
Okay, the first headlines on Daily Sun. APC presidential primary, Lawan Oshibajo Tinubu Amaechi Onu Umahi look strong amid Jonathan Joker. Barely 48 hours to the special convention of All Progressive Congress APC, the race for the presidential ticket of the ruling party has been narrowed to 6 frontline aspirants. However, former President Goodluck Jonathan could turn out the Joker. The top runners are Senate President Ahmad Lawan, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, former Governor of Lagos State Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, former Ministers of Science and Technology and of Transportation Dr. Ogunleye Onu and Rotimi Amaechi, respectively, and Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi. What are your thoughts on this, sir?
I like the word that was used, Joker. I don't know. Nothing should disappoint any Nigerians again, but it will be very disheartening, and it will be, maybe for want of word, it will be very disheartening if former President Jonathan allowed himself to be dragged into these APC shenanigans. Having said that, all the people that has been mentioned are APC card carrying members, and they have signified their intention to contest. I hope they do it according to the law, and by Monday, hopefully, we should be able to know the flag bearer of their parties. But one of the things that they should consider, in social media now, one thing has been going wrong, that after a particular gender, you should fear delegates. That delegates have become, to be a delegate in Nigeria is the best thing that you can be now, because you are eating from all the sides of your mouth. But these delegates should not forget that they are giving to Nigerians the options that we can have. They should ensure that they are not giving us the option between devil and Satan. I hope you understand what I mean. When they should not give us between the option of devil and Satan, and that we have to pick one. They should be kind enough to Nigeria to be able to give us an option that will take us away from this path that Nigeria has been in the last, 24 years? And if that is done, I will believe that there will be a pathway from this merry-go-rounding, the same thing that we have talked about.
Former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan has frowned on the allegation of inducement of delegates in the ongoing primaries of political parties in the country, preparatory for the 2023 general election, and called on the National Assembly to legislate against such practice. How sure are we that the right candidate will emerge with the issue of inducements?
Okay, let me take the issue of Senator Sonny and use him to explain. The man said at his election that he got only 2 votes. Unfortunately, he did not know which of the delegates voted for him. And so he made out a public announcement that he will want to know those 2 delegates so that they will be able to thank them and appreciate them for voting for him, because he did not give anybody any kobo. He said he has had more than 300 people calling him that they were the one that voted for him. These people calling him that knew that they are not the one that voted for him, knows that they are not the one that voted for him, are parents. What are they passing on to their children? These people know that if we are not even talking about if you have collected or you have not collected, but you know quite well that you didn't vote for this man. Why are you calling him to want to say that you are the one that is now didn't vote for him? So we're saying that this delegate now, like they said, 3,000 plus delegates are going to be responsible for giving us the candidate of APC. For whatever number, around that number will give us the candidate for APC. The other party that is coming together to will give us. And then they will expect about 20, 30 million Nigerians to pick from these choices that they have made. They will be doing us good if they are true to their conscience to give us candidates that they believe, sincerely believe, will take us away from this journey that Nigeria is walking to, that will give us a Nigeria that will be kind to the Nigerian child, that will give us a Nigeria that the Nigerian child will be happy to call themselves a Nigerian, that will take hopelessness away from parents, that will not make parents to put their children on the road to go and hawk when they should be in school. So this delegate carries a lot of responsibilities. And I quite agree with former President Goodluck Jonathan asking delegates to be not to sell their conscience to money, because whatever amount they collect will not last them for another 4 years. If it lasts them for another 4 years, can it last their children throughout school? Can it pay all their children's fee throughout school? So these delegates should be conscious enough to do the right thing and pick the candidate that they feel that will be good for the people of Nigeria. And that's why I said that these delegates, if care is not taken, they will only give us options between the devil and the Satan.
Academic staff as well.
I think with more pressures from the Nigerian students, maybe the government will be reasonable enough to want to sit down at the table, because the government is trying to blackmail and call the ASO a bad name. This was a government that said it would not pay salary, no work, no pay. And this money that you are talking about are earned money that they have worked for. A lot of other sectors have been collecting their minimum wage years back. You have not paid them your wage bill. But what these people are asking for is not about my salary. Yes, my salary is earned. That's why I said earned is my right. They are not begging for that. But what they are asking you to do, that's why I said earlier, the memorandum of understanding that a government, and you say, government is continuum. And that's why I said, when you find somebody that has been in the academic, comes to be a politician, fortunately, you are now a minister. You understand the terrain very well. Why are you finding it very difficult to follow through the agreement that you have signed with the union? It is not about when the government wants to blackmail the union, they will come out and say they have given them this money, and people will think about it's about money they are calling for. It's going to be a shame if, because of this money, ASU calls off the strike, because we'll go back to the same thing. And the Nigerian society is tired of strike today, strike tomorrow. It's not good for the Nigerian student. So it's good that we iron out all these things now and say that, what are you putting inside this in the university? How is this university going to be run? Those are the other things that they are asking for. How would the university be run? Autonomy of the university. We are not trying to commercialize the university. Even a lot of children, a lot of parents that their children have money to send them to private secondary school. How many of these parents have money to pay for private university? And now gradually, some of the supposedly government-owned university is becoming a private-owned university. And if this is allowed, it means that the Nigerian children have a lot of things to contend, that has a lot of things to contend with, are going to have education again to contend with at higher education level, because the price will definitely go out of the reach of the average parents in Nigeria.
Okay. 2023 polls will fair peacefully, says Buhari. President Muhammadu Buhari on Thursday insisted that he is committed to a free, fair, and peaceful election exercised in 2023. Should Nigeria be optimistic?
I think on this one, if we don't have a free and fair poll in 2023, Nigerians should not, for any reason, forgive President Muhammadu Buhari, because he is the president today by the sheer benevolence of Almighty God, and that somebody ensured that there was a free space for free and fair election, even when he was very fearful and he was threatening fire and whatever, that if he does not win, whatever. But somebody prepared an environment that will ensure a free and fair, credible election. And the person did not rock the boat, conceded. That was the first time in Nigeria that an opposition party was conceding defeat. That a ruling party was conceding defeat to an opposition party. So I see no reason why President Muhammadu Buhari cannot use everything available to the president to ensure that there is free and fair election. And like somebody said, that he is not afraid that there is not going to be free election. But whatever you use to provide free and fair election, to ensure that census take place, why don't you use that same thing to ensure that the Nigerian child education is not truncated? Sokoto and one other state did not write the last WAEC. They're probably not going to write this WAEC again. I think one state did not write JAM, I'm not sure. These are directly affecting the Nigerian children. All those security agencies that you have at your disposal that you are going to use to ensure that there is a peaceful election, please use it to ensure the safety of the Nigerian child, that they go back to school and that they are adequately protected.
Okay. From page 6 of Daily Sun, primary police deploy massively to prevent crisis. The Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Police Command has been deployed massively to prevent a breakdown of law and order ahead of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) primary slated for May 28 to 29 at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. Commissioner of Police for the FCT, Sunday Babaji, who made this known, said the deployment was to protect lives and properties of residents and delegates. He urged the public to go about their lawful businesses and report any suspicious movement to security agencies. The Nigerian police have always spoken about the lack of adequate personnel, but as we approach the general elections, can the police protect us, sir?
You cannot give what you don't have. The Nigerian police or the people in Nigerian police are Nigerians too, and they have their challenges. They will do what their capacity can carry them. But if the government have fully funded the Nigerian police, it's just going to be a minimal security presence that will be available at the center. If you bring the whole aggregate of the police that is not even enough for Abuja to the stadium, then it means you are leaving the whole of Abuja open to crimes and criminalities. If it is manpower that is required, I'm sure they have a way of putting everything across. If it is manpower that is required, if it is equipment and whatever that is required, technology that is required, if these are put in place, less than 50 security men will be there that people are seeing, but more than 1,000 security men can remotely be monitoring that center. And while those people are also useful for every other place. But when you bring security that is not even enough, and you bring everybody to one particular stadium, every other area of Abuja and Niger State is the one bordering Abuja. You have not packed all security people to Abuja. People that went for delegate were kidnapped and slaughtered. Where is the security when you only put security at the venue? Security should be everywhere and around the clock. So that is what the Nigerian police should do. So I will not put the blame on the Nigerian police. I'll put the blame on the government, because the Nigerian police cannot do beyond their capacity. And I know they are doing their best to put criminals and criminalities at bay.
Okay, sir. Emefiele election sensitive material no longer safe in CBN. Falana tells INEC. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana, SAN, has told the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) that sensitive election material cannot be staged in the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN), with Godwin Emefiele still presiding as the bank's governor. Do you agree with him?
I think I want to differ with the SAN. I'm not a lawyer, but I know that the governor of the central bank is a political appointment, and I don't think he's disqualified from being a card-carrying member of any party. The Minister of Justice, as we speak, is a card-carrying member of a party. I don't think that he has unilaterally, even though there is insinuation that this, but it doesn't mean that he has unilaterally decided the justice pattern of Nigeria. And so if there is a system in central bank, and if the system is working, I don't think that Emefiele, as a sitting governor, can compromise or will compromise the safety of the election material that are kept in their custody. The Nigerian Minting Press, if it's still functioning, the chairman is going to be an appointed person by the ruling party. Almost all the sensitive materials that is still able to be Nigeria is still able to produce will be produced from the Nigerian Minting Press. Are we saying that those documents too can be compromised? So for me, I think it's just going to be on the basis of moral that the CBN governor does not have any moral right again to sit down at the central bank, knowing that he's going to be part of the custodians of what is going to use for an election that you either to signify your interest to want to contest. But like I said, I'm not a lawyer, and so it can be tested in the court of law that is he qualified to be able to sit down there, will he compromise or will not compromise, so that the judiciary can tell us that he's not able to do that. But for me, I don't see any issue with that.
Okay, sir. From page 26 of Daily Sun, I participated in NYSC program, says Odua. Comes with a rider. Give agency 48 hours to retract statements. Former aviation minister and senator representing Anambra North Senatorial District, Stella Odua, has insisted she participated in the mandatory National Youth Service Corps NYSC program between 1982 and 1983. The lawmaker stated this in a reaction to media reports bordering on letter issued by the NYSC that she did not complete the mandatory one-year NYSC program. In the letter, credited to the NYSC Director General and signed on his behalf by the Director, Press and Public Relations Eddie Megwa, the agency said Odua commenced her NYSC program in 1982 but absconded. The NYSC letter was in response to an inquiry by a group known as Concerned Anambra North PDP stakeholders on Odua's NYSC status. And what's your take? At this point, who should we believe, Stella Odua or the NYSC Director General? And what's your take on the discrepancies that prevail with our elected officials?
There was this, when we were growing up, I read of a public official that was driving without a driver's license, and the police stopped and asked him about his driver's license. He didn't have the driver's license with him. He went home and he got his driver's license, showed it to the police officer at the police station, and he went back to the office and resigned as a public officer. That's when you still have people of sound moral upbringing. That I don't have any excuse to forget this thing at home to be able to drive. What has happened in the last 7 years, or in most of this political time that we have in Nigeria, is media trial. If at your disposal, you have every evidence that Stella Odua absconded, you don't need to be involved in media war with her. If Stella Odua knows that she did the mandatory NYSC, instead of going to the press and writing letters and letters, bring a copy of your certificate out. There are security things on those certificates that can be traced, whether NYSC issued that certificate or not. But we come to the paper, and now we know that if actually she has done it, a lot of damage will have been done to her name. Nobody will come out to the papers again and say, no, we heard she didn't do it. So if things like these are wrong, I don't think government agencies should be joining issue with people. State the fact clear with evidences that are not controvertible and let it go. And if Stella Odua feels that something has done, you should not go to the court, challenge it, clear your name, and but we find a lot of media up and down, either planned or unplanned. We don't know. So there is no way we will know who is right here and who is wrong until they get to the end of it.
Okay, sir. Custom intercept Naira 168 million naira worth of cannabis sativa on Lagos waterway in 4 months. The Western Marine Command of the Nigerian Customs Service (NCS) on Thursday revealed that between February and May 2022, the command had intercepted cannabis sativa worth 168 million naira on waterway within Lagos State. The issue of drugs has become one too many in the country. How can we get rid of this, sir?
I think it is actually becoming alarming. It's not just big issue. The rate at which drug is being abused now, and it cuts across all sectors, men, women, young and old, and the damage and the effect that these drugs are having on the youth is something that the government has to take a critical look into, and decisive actions has to be taken. It's not just about seizing the product, it's about getting to the roots where the product are gotten from, who are the real kingpin behind those drugs, how they come in, and if it can be traced to the source, because it is not just good that you should be cutting the head of the tree. It's still growing, but we should go to the root, and the government should use all machinery at its disposal to go to the root of this drug, because if it is not handled, it's going to be a big problem for the future of Nigeria, because the rate at which Nigerian youths abuse drug now is very alarming. It's very alarming. So government should not take it with kid gloves and be treating it as if seizing is what is the problem. No, they should. Yes, they're doing well by seizing, but they should go down further to see who are those people that are the life of these other arms of the octopus, so that the octopus itself can be gotten and shut down permanently. We know that I know for a fact that you cannot totally eradicate drugs in the society, but you can reduce to the barest minimum because it is affecting. Take a vector, for instance. Now, in the last 1 or 2 months, you have been hearing about court crisis and fight every day. Most of these things are not just done by people, ordinary people. Some of them are done under the influence. And if you remove this influence, it will probably make them sane, sober, and get away from this crime. So government has to do more than seizing the drugs.
Okay. You are still on to Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM. We will be back after this timeout.
Panorama.
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 Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7.
Oh my God! I never believed until I have mine on. Wow! What a befitting sewing. All thanks to Vive Clothiers. Apart from this party outfit, oríṣiríṣi aṣọ ní tún bẹ lọ́dọ̀ wọn tó bára ẹni mu rẹ́gí bí ẹni pé wọ́n bí mọ́ni ni. Vive Clothiers tún ṣètò customized clothes. Ẹ lè mú aṣọ wá kí a bá yín dára sí tàbí ká bá yín rà á ká parí iṣẹ́ tiwa sí la. Àwa kì í yẹ àdéhùn lórí iṣẹ́ wa. No delay. We sell both ready to wear and custom orders. With Vive Clothiers, enjoy 10% discount on all our products. Kò sí aṣọ age, size tàbí gender tí ó wà available lọ́dọ̀ wa. We offer quality fashionable styles from our choice of fabrics to the finest of finishing. They are all affordable. To enjoy or purchase yours, just walking into the shop, 3rd floor, Glory House, number 30, Adato Road, Isaliakia, Belkuta. Or you order online through phone call or WhatsApp message 090-3987-8244 080-6789-1075 on Instagram at Vive Clothiers. Offer valid till end of May. Vive Clothiers, affordable and befitting.
Overjara no the body, it's plenty. Overjara no the dry pocket. Overjara no the rail, it's plenty. If you want 8 times, the value to flex. If you know you will give you Overjara. Overjara, if you recharge, we will give you Overjara.
Get 8 times the value of any recharge plus double data and 1,000 Naira activation bonus when you buy a new SIM.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
àṣeyọrí gan làgbà iṣẹ́ gbogbo aláṣeyọrí ayọ̀ aláṣeyọrí class home and property limited lónìí ọ̀pọ̀ ilẹ̀ wọn ti di wàá mú tirẹ̀ báyìí lórí owó tí gò ga ju ara lọ randa extension hilltop máwùkọ́ àti kọbapẹ́ 100,000 ní plọ̀tì yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni lóko wọn ti di ọ̀pọ̀ yòókẹ́ mo lọ́kẹ̀dẹ̀ 25,000 ní plọ̀tì kan bẹ̀ kọbapẹ́ alábàtà òṣèlè 30,000 ní plọ̀tì ẹ̀ra plọ̀tì mẹ́ta kẹ́ẹ̀gbá ìdajì sí bó sì jẹ́ ékalẹ̀ra òdìdí lẹ́gbàsí pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àǹfààní tẹ́ẹ̀jẹ̀ lórí ilé oko wọn torí pé àwọn onírà àti onímọ̀ ìjìnlẹ̀ ti wà níkàlẹ̀ láti là ń lọ́yẹ̀ lórí nǹkan tẹ́ gbìn sílé oko tẹ́ bára 4 mọ̀túndì abíọ́láwé ilé-ìgò daily express furniture ni wọ́n wà ọlọ́ṣogbo abẹ́òkúta Ògùn state 08033086557 08033086557 lóòótọ́ àṣeyọrí gan làgbà iṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ń bá ń bá wa ná dandan ní kẹ́ láṣeyọrí ayọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. àǹfààní yóò pín lọ́jọ́ 21 oṣù tá a wà yìí.
Ayọ̀ mi lé wọ́n yóò bá
Ẹ̀wẹ́ ònìyàn ẹni, ó léwu, ó nìyàn dọ́mọ ẹlẹ́gbinú lọ́nà rẹ̀ tán. Ohun ìtìjú ń wà àti fọ́, kò lè fàjàkálẹ̀ àrùn. Torí náà, bí ìjọba ṣe ń ṣe òpolongo àti gbàdégbà, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń wá o na abẹ́ òfin. Kádàúlẹ̀ tàbí gbélé sí títì, àgàgà kó o gbélé sójú ọ̀nà àgbàrá. Ó lè fomi yálé àgbàrá ya ṣọ́ọ̀bù. Kẹ́gbálẹ̀, kẹ́gbàta, kí wọ́n rògbà yìí káwọn dédé. Ẹni fọwọ́ dé àdédé wulẹ̀ wọn. Tinú gbòròdómù ọlọ́mọ rí. Kúnyẹn dúró mù níwájú ilé wọn. Àjọrí ìjọba yàn. Kúnyẹn BSP. Ọmọ agbẹ́dẹ́dẹ́ wulẹ̀ náà dànù. Nùjẹ́ ẹsẹ̀. Kẹ́sẹ̀ mọ̀ tó tún ju tajà wọn. Búbúdú atọ́kọ̀ṣe. Búbúdú gbafẹ́. Gàrájì gbùdó kọ́ dédé. Ẹ ṣàtúnṣe wulẹ̀ wọn. Láti àyíká ilé wọn dédé. Wulẹ̀ ń jẹ́ dédé. Ojú ọ̀nà àgbàrá. Àgàgà. Búbẹ́ bá ti ṣe pàtì kárẹ̀mí ṣe tani dédé. Kẹ́tù bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe o. Wulẹ̀ rẹ̀ bá ti kọjọ́. Inú gbòròdómù ọlọ́mọ rí yẹn gẹ́nẹ́gẹ́nẹ́. Kíkẹ́dà sí o. Níwájú ilé wọn. Ibi ràn tí má wúlò. BSP má gbé ládà sí. Olódì rófin láti da ulẹ̀ tàbí gbé ulẹ̀ rojú náà. Ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń wá o. Láti ìrógbé àjàkálẹ̀ àrùn. Onígbà méjì. Iléeṣẹ́ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn. Lè mójútó ohun ẹlẹ́gbin lọ́nà rẹ̀ tọ̀nà. Ogun ọmọ lè ń fọ́ rere fún ọ. Kú mọ́tótó bórí àrùn mọ́lẹ̀.
We have the two finalists of the UEFA Champions League. We are headed for Paris. With pulsating encounters that saw 32 teams begin from the group stages through the round of 16, the quarterfinals, the semis, Real Madrid and Liverpool have scaled all of the hurdles placed before them and have emerged for the finals. We had the first edition that shook the city last year. It's even about to get better, the Night of Champions.
This is the moment you truly all been waiting
Join us live at Crown Royal on Saturday, 28th of May by 5 p.m. as we showcase the final of the 2021-2022 UEFA Champions League. Who will emerge supreme in Europe? Will it be the Los Blancos or the Reds? You don't want to miss every bit of the excitement this Saturday.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
I like talk radio.
Welcome to your number one talk radio station.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is your favorite station.
Splash FM 106.7.
Panorama.
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 Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Welcome back to Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM. We are still in the second segment, which we call From the Pages. Mr. Kola Abiola is still in the studio, helping us to make sense of the headlines.
Monkeypox. FG beefs up surveillance at entry points. Sequel to the outbreak of monkeypox and its effects in Europe and America, the federal government has beefed up surveillance at the country's entry points. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Mohammed Abubakar, at a press briefing yesterday in Abuja, assured Nigerians at the international community that there was no cause for alarm. How do you see the awareness level of the disease within Ogun State, sir?
I think generally with Nigeria, if nothing has come to our doorstep, we don't actually make enough preparation. Sometimes we just believe in making this fire brigade preparation. But it's good that somebody in government is already aware about this, and I hope that it's not just about awareness, that they are making adequate preparation to forestall the outbreak in Nigeria, like they did for COVID-19. I hope they will be able to do a good job with this too, so that it will not be... Nigeria cannot afford to go through any epidemic at this point. So I think government is being proactive enough to mitigate against whatever outcome, but I just hope that it will not come to Nigeria.
Oh. African CDC warns on vaccine holding amid monkeypox outbreak. The acting director of Africa's top public health agency said on Thursday that he hoped vaccine hoarding as seen by Weather Nation during the COVID-19 pandemic would not be repeated with the current monkeypox outbreak. Monkeypox, a usually mild viral infection, is endemic in Africa countries of Cameroon, Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Nigeria. But it has caused global alarm after more than 200 suspected and confirmed cases of the virus were detected in at least 19 countries since early May, mostly in Europe. No deaths have been reported so far. Why does this issue of hoarding or vaccine always coming up?
I really don't know why anybody will say they are hoarding. You wouldn't leave your own and go take care of strangers. Let me explain this further. I don't think there is any car that has been manufactured in the world that you don't have at least one in Nigeria. If you go and buy all those beautiful things that you see abroad and use it for your personal fun, why can't you borrow those things that will make gains for Nigeria and come and put it in Nigeria? Nigeria does not have any pharmaceutical company that can produce vaccines and co. Are we saying we are not big enough to attract any of those pharmaceutical companies? What are those factors mitigating against those pharmaceutical companies coming in? If we are producing in Nigeria, nobody will accuse us of treating our own people before we send the vaccines out. This is a country that is a member of OPEC, and yet we go import petroleum product from other countries. We cannot refine petrol for ourselves. And when there is crisis now, and those people say they want to sell to their country first, we will say those countries are hoarding. Are we supposed to look inward and refine our product ourselves and sell for ourselves when we are self-sufficient? It's only when you are filled that you know you can remember to give somebody food. So if they are giving us, let us look at it as that they are being benevolent. But it's not our right to ask for it, more so that we have the capacity to be able to do those things. But having said that, COVID-19 has shown the world that there's no way you can lock yourself totally in, and whatever is happening to your neighbor cannot come to you. So you must also look out for your neighbor. So I think the developed world will not just close their eyes and see that monkeypox is an African disease because it has been found in Europe now. And the more they go to the source or to the root to clear it, the better for them in their community too. So like it happened for COVID-19, I don't think any country will want to hoard whatever vaccines or remedy they have, because you never can tell who has come from that region to your country, and it could be a pandemic again in whatever country.
PDP gets parallel government candidates in Ogun, Kano, Akwa Ibom. The People's Democratic Party's primary electoral committee in Ogun State has declared a former member of the House of Representatives, Oladepopo Adebutu, as the party's governorship candidate in the state. The primary election that produced Adebutu was held at the Olusegun Obasanjo Presidential Library in Abeokuta. The committee's chairman, Akase Soka, announced Adebutu as the winner after polling 714 votes to defeat other contestants, Segun Showunmi, Jimmy Lawal, and Abimbola Abodurin, who did not get any vote. Showunmi had earlier emerged the party's candidate in a parallel primary held by a faction of the party. So, in Kano State, Ambassador Aminu Wali's eldest son, Alhaji Sadiq Wali, won the factional PDP governorship primary conducted on Wednesday night. Wali polled 455 to beat other contestants, such as Alhaji Ibrahim Litu, who scored 322 votes. Others are Dr. Yusuf Dangwani with 276 votes, Alhaji Mustafa Getso, and Alhaji Jafar Bello, who polled 25 votes each. What does this say about unity in PDP, Sam?
I think the party that is supposed to provide enough opposition have not gotten their acts together, and that's why it is saddening that eventually we might get not the president that Nigerians will have wanted, but that the parties would have fostered on us. But let's hope that other parties will be able to come together and provide us with alternative. But I would have expected that the PDP in the last 7.5 years will have gotten their acts together and will have sorted out all issues of contention and be able to provide a formidable force. But where you have, as of this moment, parallel primaries still being held, I wonder how they can form a united front against the APC or any other coalition that might come forward. And so, for me, most of the states that you have this thing going on is as good as PDP might have always said bye-bye to that election. Because when you have a divided house, some other people can still come and pouch your members, and you know how it is in Nigeria. So I think if we look at it as bad for PDP, is also bad for Nigerians and for Nigeria, because parties that should have provided credible opposition is now in disarray. Let's hope that this will not affect their presidential candidate, and if this affects their presidential candidate, let's hope that these other coalitions that are coming up will provide better alternative for Nigeria, because at this point we need really good alternative to be able to pick who should lead Nigeria in the coming years.
Yes, sir. 2023 population census will be credible, acceptable, NPC, Federal Commissioner assures. As preparation for the conduct of 2023 population and housing census are in top gear, the Federal Commissioner of the Population Commission, NPC, Oyo State, Dr. Eyitayo Oyetunji, has promised that the body will ensure that the census results are acceptable to the Nigerians. Do you think a successful census will help government plan better for the people?
I don't want to sound very pessimistic, but census that has been held, and we always know the result. And one of the things why I said the result is Kano State was Kano State when Lagos was Lagos State. Lagos State has not been divided. Some other 2 states or so has been brought out of Kano State, and yet the population of Kano State is still at par with the population of Lagos State, even when you say some part of the old Kano State has been ceded out to 1 or 2 other states that has been created from it. I think the people ruling Nigeria should be fair. If you are going to be fair, and the result of the census, in a way, if it is very fair and very credible, very transparent, can reduce a lot of agitations in Nigeria. Because when we know ourselves and we know the population of each area, we tend to want to bargain with our size and our population, our area. But when some people are skewing the population in a particular direction, when it is obvious that is not it, the agitation will continue. So I do hope and pray that the Nigerian Population Commission and whoever is still the president as at when the census is being done will be committed to actually letting us know the figure of Nigeria, so that it will help in the development of areas according to their needs, not according to what the government or the so-called owners of Nigeria want.
It's time for you, our listeners, to be a part of the program by calling the studio lines to hear your opinion. 0704 400 1067 or 0817 555 1067 or 0705 050 1067. Again, the studio lines 0704 400 1067, 0817 555 1067, 0705 050 1067. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes.
Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Oh, network is fine. Hello?
Hello, good morning. We can hear you.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. 0704 400 1067.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Hello. Zero 0704 400 1067 or 0817 555 1067. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir.
My name is Big Daddy from Abiola Way.
Okay, sir.
Our resource person, good morning, sir. God bless you all and those people saying amen there. It's a very nice topic this morning. The man is analyzing something in fact excellent. I want to ask a question to him, my dear brother. Which man who's supposed to be my mentor? You see those politicians who is trying to loot our money? Or the youth who is trying to be Yahoo? Or those women that are supposed to, they are so selfish in the name of money, messing up with dogs. What I'm trying to tell you that is it, because of you said our hope. Where should we hope for? Look at what is happening. And you comment about the president who says he wants to give credible election. That a man that supports 100 million naira to be able to buy from. They will buy a car, bribe those party delegates. As I had last time that someone paid 2 million naira, promised to give 1.5 to each delegate. When they did not vote, he said they should give him back his money. Why are you expecting free and fair election on 2023? After Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, you see another departure. And one other thing that is you complain about PDP to give you. One, there is no qualification to defend. Anybody that comes in is a leader.
Please wrap up, sir.
Our former president go to APC now, wanted to be on top. Why do you expect to be a credible election and probably PDP to be the same? Please, let me stop you. Have a nice day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. What I was saying is that it's easy for us to point at the government, but I said that the government itself starts from the home. Sir, if I am an example, if I'm a role model to my children and I put them in the right path, I believe that they will go out. Like the book of, one of the book of the religion says, train up your child and that when he grows up, he will not depart from it. If we are a role model, the mother is a role model, the father is a role model, they will go out and not depart from it. And so that's why I'm saying that these children should not lose hope, but that they can influence their circle, and they don't know how big their circle can be. And those people that they have influenced can affect and eventually come and influence Nigeria. Yes, a lot of things is happening in Nigeria that is so disheartening, that is so frustrating, that is so annoying. But I don't think we should allow these children to give up hope about Nigeria. But we can encourage them with their potentials and talents to be able to contribute and depart from this path that this current youth and our current leaders have forced this current youth to take, to want to believe in shortcut more than going the hard way. So if we believe in the hard way and we give adequate compensation for hard work and diligence, then this youth can follow that path, and they will believe eventually that with my hard work and sweat, there will be a super lightning at the end of the tunnel.
Okay. That's how far we can go on today's edition of Panorama. Once again, happy Children's Day to you all. I am Rekiah Ogunsola.
And I am Precious Ogunleye. Thank you so much, Mr. Kola Abiola.
Thank you for having me in your midst.
Yes, sir.
Don't dare touch that dial. It's Splash, your integrity station.
The world is becoming a jungle. Crisis from every angle. This isn't good for children who flourish amidst a brethren. We have built a home for you where children flourish